Okay, it is November 13th, 2025. It is a Thursday. All these days and what they mean. Okay, turning down the Kenny Chesney CD. You know, I got Kenny Chesney, 3 of them yesterday I bought at the thrift store. Can't help myself, building up the collection again. All right, so yesterday, a big day. The penny, no longer in circulation. What is wrong with me? Now, I just want to let you know, this camera thing, I've got it propped up. It's not sticking, the cold, and I think it's the curvature of this this glass and this Golf that the mount that I put on there, the suction cup, first of all, it's kind of getting worn out, so it's falling off more, and it's cold, and the curve of the window, it's not sucking really well. It needs to suck better. Suck harder, baby. Can it suck anymore? Yes, it needs to. So the penny, sorry for any yelling in Franny's ear, the penny is no longer in circulation. Trump signed an order, I don't know, earlier this year sometime to eliminate the penny because it's costing, I've heard different numbers, 2 cents to make it, 4 cents to make it. The penny itself being made right now, well, not anymore, I think has 97.5% zinc in it. That's its primary metal content, and that zinc alone is worth about 8.5 cents, or 0.085, so 85% of the face value of a penny. Almost close to the face value, the metal value in it. It's just zinc. Now, they took the copper out of the pennies in '82, and any of those pennies that you can find in circulation that part of '82 and then pre-'82 have, I think, 95% copper in it, and they're worth over 3 cents a piece. Over 3 cents, just because of the copper, and that's why they took it out. And so now we're just going to round up to 5 cents, I guess, or round down. And I've said before, the nickel's next because it's 75% copper and 25% nickel. The metal content alone in a 5 cent nickel is 6 cents. So it's all, I see dead people. It's more than the actual face value of the coin. All that is an indicator of inflation. Because they printed so much money, the metals become worth more because it costs more to mine them. You know, it just has more value. There's work that has to go into it, and so the more money you print, the more the metals are worth. And if you got metals in the money, you can't make the money anymore because it costs too much. It's kind of counterintuitive in a way. So anyway, no more pennies. Philadelphia Mint created the last penny, and I noticed the guy, might have been the mint director, you know, he grabs that last penny with his fingers, and I'm thinking, why are you touching it? You should have gloves on. You need to save that last penny and put it in the Smithsonian or something. But it's been 232 years since we've had a penny, and if you look back through history, they used to be big, you know, big copper pennies, bronze, copper, I don't know, a metal in it. And so it just shows how much the money's been devalued. You know, it doesn't, you know, they can't do it anymore. It actually holds value because it has metal, so they got to get rid of it. Kind of like the Romans shaving the edges of the coins off. That's why they put reeds on the edge of the coin, so if you shave it and try and get metal off of it, you know, you can tell. Look at the quarter and the dime. It's just an artifact at this point because there's no metal in it of value. Anyway, enough of the penny. A penny for your thoughts. Now it's a nickel for your thoughts. Okay, we've got the government reopened. Everything's great. Chemtrails are back. Well, they never left. But the government is reopened. Business as usual, probably not. I'm not getting that mail yet. And so markets, I see silver's going up quite a bit, making a little run back to 55, where it hit a high before. It probably will break through that and go a lot higher. So we'll see, though. You know, end of the week tomorrow, they may try and clamp it down and keep it lower and maintain some semblance of control, because the silver is kind of the dollar, you know, the basis of the dollar, the real dollar. So many grains of silver. All right, enough of the money. I'll get back to politics. We've got this big eruption right now with the Epstein files, and, you know, it's this psyop almost that it's a Democratic hoax, you know, we can't do it. So we've got Trump on the one side, seemingly guilty, you know, with all of his speech and actions. I don't need to release the Epstein files. It's ridiculous. Get over it. Move along. And you've got the Democrats on the other side. We need to release this. Trump's in it. And there's been some emails leaked. Trump's in these emails. Okay. The way I see it is it's almost too convenient. There's a story, I don't know if it's Song of the South, but you know, you had, or maybe it's, I'm getting my little stories confused, but of the parable of the don't throw me in the briar patch, says the rabbit. Don't throw me in the briar patch. No, don't put me in the briar patch with all the thorns. And then, you know, throw him in the briar patch. And that's where you wanted to be all along. So it's just a big ruse to where, oh, don't do this. Please don't do it. Please, please don't throw me in the briar patch. That's the feeling and the vibe I get from this whole situation. You know, where you've got Trump obviously looking guilty. And so the other side says, we need to release these Epstein files. And even people in his own party, we need to release these. And with Trump on the other side saying, no, 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 we don't need to release these. We don't need to release these. It's no big deal. It's over. You know, it's water under the bridge. And so you're going to get a press to release these. Even the press will be pressing to release them, and the people will probably be pressing to release it. So what it's done is called that whole thing to the forefront so that there is a demand to release it. And I think, why are you in my face? Man, what did I eat? I didn't eat any steak for breakfast or anything, you know, smelling my breath. Didn't eat anything for breakfast. Actually, I fast until afternoon, you know, sometimes 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I feel a lot better. I felt pretty good yesterday. And so, yeah, that little intermittent fasting, intermittent speech is really good, I think. It's very helpful. It gives your body a chance to reset. So don't break the fast until later in the day. So anyway, the dog's sniffing. So I think that's what it is. Don't throw me in the briar patch. Don't do that. That's you know, it's just a big ruse to get the files actually released and the public wanting to have it done. And not that they didn't, but it's calling more of an awareness. And I think that's what everything that's happening right now, it's calling more awareness and causing people to wake up. And that is key, because we wouldn't have to go through all of this if people would have awakened earlier. But not everybody did. It's just like you tell somebody about crypto. I tell somebody about Litecoin. Well, speaking of Litecoin Summit, baby, Nashville, 2024. The summit that changed it all. Watershed moment. Okay. And so you've got that situation now to where people are being forced to wake up. And it's taken a long time. So, you know, the people who've been awakened for awake for years. I mean, since 9/11, since JFK. I mean, you know, all this time, lifetimes it seems, and maybe lifetimes, you know, that it's frustrating and it's aggravating. It's like, why aren't you people awake? You know, why don't you understand this? You know, it's like me talking about people with Litecoin. I'm telling you right now, you know, you better understand what's going on here. It's sound money for the digital age. Litecoin. Make that into a drinking game. You know, is Westwood going to say Litecoin, sound money for the digital age in his video? Drink. Black coffee in the mornings. Don't put any Baileys in it, if you know what I mean. I know who you are. Okay, so that's where it's at. People need time to awaken. Everybody's on their own path. And so you can't force people to wake up. You can't force people to make change in their life. You know, some people have to be shocked into reality or into the awakening process, let's say, the real reality. And you can't force it. Everybody does it. I heard about Bitcoin early on. Did I do anything about it? Not really. I heard about it in 2013 for real. I mean, you know, and looked into it. But I didn't get it until late 16 probably. And then I really got it, and then that's what led me to Litecoin, because I'm like, wow, this is a better Bitcoin. It's got better fundamentals, and it's just continued to build out. This could be a neighbor. No, it's not. It's glasses. It continues to improve, you know, with the optional privacy feature of MWeb, and I mean, you know, all the technology, smart contracts being built on it, that layer, ordinals, so many different things that have been built on it. The ETFs now soaking it up. I saw Canary Capital has like 63,000 Litecoin that they've taken off the market in less than 2 weeks and locked up. By the end of the month, I'm sure it'll be over 100,000. And that's 100,000 off the market when you've got a total of 84 million that it can exist, and there's 76.5 million that have been mined out. I mean, it's eating it up. And the people that, what is going on? Kisses. Man, oh man. Can't keep these females off me. Crazy. Look at this. Yeah, if only. So yeah, I mean, you know, the fixed supply, and anyway, it led me to Litecoin. And, you know, I guess my point is the awakening process takes time. It takes time for individuals to wake up. Some of us are earlier than others. And it takes patience and grace and understanding and awareness to realize that everybody, needs time to come to grips. And some people never will, but those people who are receptive, it takes them time. They're in a different part of their journey than you are. And so it's important. That's why I make my videos. And, sometimes, as some people would say, you kind of say the same thing. You could go back, I made like 1,100 videos. You could go back to video 600 and it's probably going to echo many of the same sentiments. But there are new people coming in all the time and they haven't heard that. And are they going to go back and listen to all those videos? Don't do that, because I'm much better looking now and much more good on the eyes, easy on the eyes now than I was then. So, I was a little overweight, but again, I've awakened, I've shed those things that aren't useful to me and made changes in my own life. And that's what everyone needs to do at some point. What's right for you and what's your path, what's your journey, and shed those things that are anchors that are holding you back. And it's a much better existence. It truly is. So anyway, I echo the same things, and I keep doing it just from that standpoint. There are new people coming in at a different stage in their journey, and I just want to, continue to put that information out there because it's something that someone might need to hear at that given time. So it's my life's work. I saw today, I interacted with somebody on Twitter, Nathan. He's got a nice little podcast on health, but he spells it HELLTH. Mental health, because everybody struggles, and he has some pretty good stuff, and he creates some pretty good art and music, and said something today about being in a bad mood. Hey, it's okay to be in a bad mood. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay. We go through these stages, and that's true. And unfortunately, sometimes we try to hide that, and when we interact with people during the day, they don't know where you're coming from, and so that causes some conflict. Wouldn't it be great? And I use the suggestion of we need to wear mood rings around. So, when we interact with each other, we can look at the mood ring and say, oh, okay, I see you're having a bad day. You're in a bad mood. We'll talk about this later. But, that transparency, some method of that transparency to where we do understand each other better, because sometimes in any kind of communication, we say things at given times because of what we're going through that we really don't mean, and it might come out wrong, and that can cause problems, in our relationships. We have to find a way to be as honest and transparent. It's like, hey, I'm having a bad day. I really don't want to talk about this right now. That kind of thing. And if we could do that rather than holding it in and just be transparent, I think we'd be better off. So mood rings for everybody, baby. Check. Hey, before you talk to me, check my mood ring. Reminds me of a story. It's Barron Trump's Underground Journey. I can't remember the title. I never can. And it's a lot of similarities with Trump. It's Barron Trump, Little Barron Trump, Ingersoll Lockwood. And some of those books are very, very curious, the writings. But anyway, Barron Trump, he takes this underground journey. He slides down this spiral thing, and gets into this underground world. And he meets this one type of entity that is, you can see you can see the heart. They're translucent and transparent, and you can see their heart. So you can see, like a mood ring, you can see exactly what kind of mood they're in. And so it's like a transparent interaction. And I always think how nice that would be if we could see each other's hearts. Maybe it's a dangerous thing, but to live in a world of transparency and openness, to where it's a world of truth, essentially, how that would change things. So, food for thought. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. All right, I love you all. Have a wonderful Thursday. Follow your path. Get on that journey. If you're not, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step. Take that first step. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Well, you have your soul to lose if you don't, do what you're supposed to be doing. So do what you're supposed to be doing. Follow your path. You're born for a reason. You're here for a reason. All right. I love you all. Trust yourselves, and have a wonderful Thursday.